Good morning from our house to yours. Sparsely populated couch this morning.
Jen!
Any takers?
Jen, where are you?
Who wants to be on internet television?
We're the only two fools.
I get paid to work here, so it's no big deal. I mean, it's either this or sit upstairs at my desk and not talk to you beautiful people. So why wouldn't I want to be on the couch?
Jen, is that you?
Yes, I'm coming.
Yay!
A late add to the show. Jen Wall rounding the corner. In the meantime, I hope your morning's treating you right. Paul Gerke alongside Crystal Henderson, who I called Trisha Hendricks on air earlier today. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's a compliment.
She did have the story before you, and you're both like 6'6" Amazonian women, and so it's a little tough.
Blonde, last name's really close.
Self-conscious. Jen Wall, everybody.
Yay! Now it's a party.
A round of internet applause.
Yes. I did not forget. I just had to take care of something very quickly, so I'm back.
Okay.
Just get very thirsty.
That sounds so suspicious. Just had to take care of some things.
Nothing exciting. Sorry to disappoint
Go
everybody.
break some thumbs and extort some money. Our talker topic is in the thread right now. Remember, guys, you fueled the discussion on the after show. Today, I think this has some legs to it. We're talking about texting and the nuance of texting, the right and the wrong things to do when you're sending and receiving messages. Apparently, there are experts on this topic. I didn't know that was such a thing. But there was an article that appeared in Men's Health that pretty much laid out like the times that it's okay to send a wall of text, the triple text. It's okay if you're correcting it. Okay. Especially, we all get auto-corrected, right?
Yep.
It's not okay if you're like trying to get someone to get a hold of you that clearly doesn't want to talk to you. And it's not okay most of the time if it's like, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just have this ridiculous cough that will not go away. I apologize.
That's okay. No, you're good. Anyway, we want you to weigh in about the texting debate. What's right and what's wrong? What annoys you the most about texting?
Well, thankfully my dad is not watching this. He's like notorious for like every word or a few words, it's another text. He like, and I'm like, Dad, you could put it all in one text and send it to me. But yeah, it's like always, you know, and yeah, it doesn't stop. And it's like for one complete thought, it's 7 texts. So
can you tell that someone's texting you based upon the rhythm of that vibration on your phone? Because I can. Like when you get one text, it could be anyone, right?
Right.
And you get a second one in close response, you're like, oh wait, this is one of my friends that does this, where they send multiple texts.
Yeah.
But then if you get a third one right away, you're like, oh, that might be a group thread.
It's like a text signature.
Yes.
Yes, I totally know what you're talking
Like
about.
Morse code almost.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Dot, dot, dash. I know who this is.
Buzz, 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 buzz.
What about you, Jen?
You know, I'm trying to think. Honestly, there's not a whole lot about text messages that bother me because if something's bothering me, I can just put it on sleep or snooze or if I don't have time, I don't check my phone. I actually prefer it. It's nice because I get really busy in the afternoon with kids. And so like if I have PR folks calling or whatever to set up stories or interviews, I always say, hey, can you just text me instead? Because then I'll definitely be able to respond to you. But if I have to pick up my phone and call and talk to you, well, I have my little ones running around. Yeah. It's going to be a zoo. So I don't know. I can't really think of anything. I think just like maybe since we go to bed so early, and then like someone texting, it's not really their fault though, like 7:30 at night, which is a very normal time to text. Then it wakes me up and I'm like, but like I can't blame them because, you know, we're the ones who have a weird schedule.
Donna recommends you just pick up the phone and call. And I think in a lot of instances, that probably is a healthier behavior, but I totally see your point. Sometimes you really don't have a chance to pick up the phone and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Especially when you get on the horn with a talker. We all know the talkers. My mom will go off for 45 minutes about God knows what, and you're just like, I don't have this kind of chunk in my day, you know? I love you, Mom, if you're watching this morning.
I know we both called out. I called out my dad. You called out your mom.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Mark says, not okay if you're driving. Preach, my man. Arizona, one of only 3 states where it's not illegal to text and drive. There are some cities, though, that it's becoming illegal, and I think that we'll see that relatively soon. Denise said the world is spending their life on their phones. Yeah, that's true, too. Like us right now.
Right.
And you.
Whoa,
we're breaking down the fourth wall this morning. Trey says texts are good for short messages, 3 sentences max. Anything longer, make the phone call.
Oh, there you go.
I think there's something to be said for people that are organized in texts. I like numbered lists if you have more than one point to make. I like separations between sentences, like paragraphs if you could, if you're conveying multiple ideas. I really don't like the people that try to shoehorn that could shoehorn everything into one text, but don't. That send it out as like individual thoughts.
I always feel bad when I do that. I'm like, oh man, I forgot. It's like if you forget something,
but
and you
that's
throw it in, you're like, oh, sorry, I keep texting you. I just remembered something else. You know,
there are people that are notorious for definitely.
Do you guys have any autocorrects that stand out in the history of your texting careers? Like a real bad autocorrect that really burned you?
Not that I can think of.
I've had a couple. Let me just throw this out there.
Let's hear them.
Is there a name for the autocorrect when you send the wrong emoji?
Oh, no, but that just happened to me.
Did it really?
Yeah, I meant to hit the other emoji next to it, and it was totally wrong, and I even went, I meant this emoji, because it was like so wrong for the conversation.
It changes the whole tone of the message sometimes.
Yeah, we should name that.
If you guys have a name for it, throw it in the comment section. I'll give you credit on the air. What would you name, I guess, a mistyped emoji, an auto-corrected emoji?
Or you accidentally, the wrong one?
I fire them off from the frequently used emojis often.
Oh, yes.
Because you've got the kissy face and the winky face and the smiley face and the frowny face and the laughing face, whatever. But when they're all next to each other and you fat finger the wrong one, it just totally changes what you're talking about. Yeah. All of a sudden, instead of wink, that dress makes you look fat, wink, then you send the smiley face one and you're like, maybe I'm just really into it. Like, I don't know, it just changes everything, you know? We want to hear your autocorrecting stories too, if you guys have any to share with us.
I know, I'm trying to think if I have any. I mean, my mom, I have one from my mom that I can't share. It's not appropriate. She said something, she totally didn't mean it, but she still has a flip phone. She won't do the smartphone thing, which is extremely smart of her.
Good for her,
phone never breaks. Yeah. She spends hardly any money on it, and she can still text. But she texted my brothers and I one time, and we still tease her just because what she said, and she totally didn't mean it. But I wish I could share it on air. So basically a pointless story, because I can't even tell you what she really said.
Well, let me tell you about this thing that I know that I can't tell you.
I know, I'm sorry.
We love Mama Walda.
It's funny, I promise.
Shout out to Marco. Good morning, buddy. Janie has a great point. People thinking that all texts deserve an immediate response regardless of importance, especially friends. I'm notorious about not responding to texts, especially if you get them at weird hours. Like that 7 o'clock at night text for me is like, I could be asleep, theoretically. I'm not. Right. But that person doesn't know that. I'm not dealing with this until tomorrow. And then you often forget to fire one off. Is it like, I don't like how it's become acceptable to chastise someone for not responding to texts. Like, if you really need to get a hold of me, there are other ways. Like, I hate the obligation. Like, there's like a stress associated with like having to respond to every text. And especially in like a group thread scenario when you have like 6 or 7 people firing stuff off at you, it's a lot. Like, I don't have time to do, even if I do have time, I'd rather spend the time not staring at my phone.
And we're busy, right? We're at work and everybody has different schedules. So maybe just that's not the best time to respond, or maybe you want to think about how you respond. That's also better, because some people just put whatever out on that text and without thinking.
What I always think about is that when I was in college, we went to South Africa. This was in 2006, because when they were having a lot of border issues there with folks coming over and trying to work. And so we were kind of comparing that to the U.S. and just a lot of the stuff that we have going on here and just refugees. And it was just a really crazy time for South Africa. So anyway, we get there and we all have our phones, and then we had to, buy their little $20 cell phones that we could use there. And I thought it was so interesting because they were texting in 2006. Nobody would pick up the phone. And back in 2006, we weren't huge texters. So all of us Americans get over there and we're like, what is this? And they called it SMS.
Yeah,
which
SMS messaging.
It's on your phone. But they're like, I'll send you an SMS. And I remember just being like, what's an SMS? What do I do with this? Why can't I talk to you? Like, I want to verbally. And now we have adopted that culture. And I think it's so interesting that they were so ahead of the game in that as well, more than we are here. And now we're huge texters.
Ash blames Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay.
I like Peggy's point, too. Texting doesn't allow body language, tone, etc., and sometimes that can change the whole message. We joked about this on Today in AZ this morning, where I wish there were like an italics font for sarcasm, because sometimes if you're trying to be a little cheeky, the message doesn't come across and you look like the bad guy, even if you had the most innocent of intentions. Wires get crossed when you're texting people.
Just be careful, for sure. It's like an email.
Exactly.
Denise has got to love them accidental caps text messages and anger somebody from it. Especially if you're like, you hit the caps lock to send a name and then it just stays in caps.
Have you ever texted the wrong person?
Oh, all the time.
I just did it yesterday.
But something you did
all the time.
Oh,
it's like, oh, that was not for you.
Right.
And now and I was supposed to.
Right.
The worst part is when you're talking trash about somebody and then you text that person because subconsciously you're thinking about them.
Right.
Tough sledding.
I
don't mean to throw my mom under the bus again, but that happened to her, and it's a friend that she had for a while that has not spoken to her since.
Oh.
Yeah, she was complaining about her behavior in some manner.
The worst.
And sent it to her, and it was like, really? And that was the end of their relationship.
Double, triple check
Tough
for
sledding.
you.
All right, let's take a break from our phones for 2 seconds. Well, you don't, because that's how you're
We're
watching
on your
us.
phone,
I'm going to put mine down for a second and get to our ICYMI, which is our In Case You Missed It, one of my favorite moments from Today in AZ, including the opposite of a baby shark.
The biggest great white shark on record makes a rare appearance in the waters near Hawaii.
Holy cow.
Guys, these pictures and this video. Take a look.
Hi.
The shark, right? I mean, he looks so like dumb and cute.
Am I on?
The shark, affectionately known as Deep Blue, was spotted feeding on a whale carcass off Oahu's south shore.
That shark looks like it could maybe cut down on the whale a little bit.
Now, what are these people doing next to him? The only other blue sightings happened 2,600 miles away off Mexico's Baja California peninsula. So, of course, shark enthusiasts took full advantage, like literally going for a swim with the guy. So close. Deep Blue is estimated to be 20 feet long and more than 50 years old. She looks good.
Yeah, for 50. Holy smokes, look at the size of that thing. It takes up 4 monitors.
I know that they're conservationists that are next to her, but you're going to swim that close to the biggest great white shark on the planet?
That's a gamble I would not take.
Not even close. I mean, it is so scary.
Baby shark,
Big Mama Shark is what her name is.
I would never swim with that thing. I don't like being in the water, period, in case a fish were to brush up against me. A fish, let alone a shark.
You've never gone, like, snorkeling or anything?
No way.
Oh, you should. It's so much fun. You can go into shallow areas, and then it's totally safe. You can get out and run. No, won't even.
I don't want to touch the fish. I don't want them to touch me.
They don't want to touch
20
you.
feet.
It's fine.
I feel like instead of like a Sharknado, whatever number they're up next,
Yeah.
it could be like Shark Cane. Like it's a hurricane now.
I love the perspective of you guys at the anchor desk.
Yes.
That was pretty intense.
Wow.
What would I have to pay you to like swim behind that shark? Like that is even a risk I would take for like $1 million. I wouldn't do it.
I seriously want to know how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
And then I would make my decision.
As dangerous as the shark wants it to be, right?
Realistically. Well, because
You learn that sharks
don't
really
like
aren't
humans.
Yeah, they really don't.
so
and
if you
it's really
swim
not,
in a certain way
yeah.
in a certain spot, is it okay?
Right.
Or is it like absolutely not?
Right.
You're taking a huge risk. You're on your own, buddy. Bye.
Right.
Boston.
Nature's metal, man. I don't mess with nature. If I can avoid messing with nature, I will. I let nature do its thing, and I do my thing.
It is still scary.
We're the only creatures that like build our own homes and like change the environment we live in. That's what makes humans unique, right? Is we alter the environment to fit our needs. I don't want to come out of my altered environment to deal with nature in its natural
What
habitat.
if we put you in a cage and drop you?
Great. That's what my apartment is, and I love hanging out in it.
No, you with the shark. A cage with the shark.
No way. Oh my gosh. All right, back to some of your texting responses. Christina makes a good point that somebody might not be able to answer their phone because they're driving and don't want to get in an accident. Do you ever feel that pressure? Like, let's say you have a half-an-hour commute through rush hour. So you're going from
half
like
hour, it's
Bethany,
more than that.
Bethany home to Thomas. Half an hour
Yeah,
at 5:30,
exactly.
right?
There you go.
Yeah, let's say you're driving around in Phoenix. You get that text early in your drive. Does it nag at you where you're like, what was that? Do I need to respond?
It bugs me. Drives me nuts.
Right?
I'm not gonna lie. Just sit there and like.
Just escalating our blood pressure unnecessarily, and then you look and it's something
My
completely
husband put on
pointless.
that notification where it says "Do not disturb." I'm driving.
Oh, yeah.
So if I text him and he's driving, and then he doesn't get it till he's done. I need to put it on my phone.
I've seen that before. That's smart.
And then it's nice because then I know like okay he cannot answer.
Right.
Now it's good.
How bad would it be to have like an auto reply set up that's like, I really don't want to text you.
Well, you
Period.
could change the auto that her husband's
I like
does
that.
to say that.
Thanks for texting me. I'm probably not going to respond. If you need me, call me.
Like
And if I don't answer, I'm busy.
I'm on vacation email.
Yeah.
Transfer that
Just
to your phone.
but forever.
I'm now learning why Paul never returns any of my texts.
Now, you also have the wrong number because you've never texted me. Anthony, have you guys ever seen when animals attack? So yeah, no thanks. Right? I can't discern the temperament of that giant shark. He could be having a bad day and he turns around and he's like, you know what? I'm sick of these snorkelers following me. Bam! No one ever sees you again.
But that one photo was pretty awesome. I mean, if you've studied sharks your entire life,
you probably
and
feel
get
comfortable.
to see the biggest shark on the planet that we know of.
Right.
That's kind of of a deal
worth
breaker, maybe for some people.
Yeah.
Let's get to some fresh squeezed juice, eh? Jen, you want to do the honors?
Sure. So the 2000s just called and they want their phone back. It looks like the Motorola Razr cell phone will be making a comeback.
No
this
way.
I love the Razr.
Crystal's already got one. According to the Wall Street Journal, the companies,
Lenovo.
Thank you, and Verizon are teaming up to launch a new Razr this year with a foldable screen. The phones could be released as soon as next month with a price tag of $1,500.
I don't like it that much.
Hello, Moto.
But you glossed over what I think was a very important part, a foldable screen. Can you imagine if you could
Does
fold
that
your
mean-
iPhone in half?
Does that mean...
I bet you both of those are
The
going to be
display,
screens.
yes.
So it must be,
that's cool.
see where the buttons
I thought
are?
it
They
just
must
meant-
both be screens, yeah?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Maybe
like
that's what
one
it's gonna
screen,
be.
but with like a hinge in the middle.
Yes.
So do you use and then my second question is, do you use the numbers to text or is it a touch screen?
It's probably a touch screen.
Yeah.
Right?
It'll probably be a
That's
touch.
Unless these are new images.
I
don't
love
know.
this. And I loved the Razr because, like, now your screen's always, you could scratch it and all that, but if you fold it, it'll
Right.
be more protected.
No trouble.
I love I never wanted to get rid of my
This is
Razr, but they're
gigantic.
like.
I mean, guys, I carry my laptop
Right.
around with me in my pocket.
Exactly. So if
Yeah.
you could fold it up, genius.
I wasn't here
Sold.
yesterday. Did you guys talk on the show about the new battery packs that iPhone is releasing, like the giant, bulky?
I
So this
missed
was
it.
like a trending story
Yeah,
yesterday. So
yeah.
they remember a while back they had people send their batteries in if they weren't working right to replace the batteries because the shelf life is like shorter than they thought it was. They expected as a company 1 million people to turn their batteries in. Closer to 11 million ended up swapping their batteries out. So Apple suddenly realized they had a problem with battery life. So they're releasing these new bulky looking cases that like allow you to like store extra battery life in your phone more so than is like actually in the battery. And people were complaining about how clunky and awkward they looked and how bulky it makes the phones. But I like having a big bulky case that prevents me from breaking my phone when I spike it off.
That's
of
why I
things.
bought this one.
And if it gave me a little extra battery, I wouldn't mind the extra, weight in my pocket.
So I have one of those little, it's a Halo, I think.
Okay.
And I could stick it on the back of my phone, and I was going to, then I'm like, man, it's already really big. So the thing that I like about it is it has a cord that I can just attach to my phone to the battery pack when I need it. Which,
makes sense.
it's not attached to anything. I guess it's kind of cumbersome if you're walking around.
Yeah.
But it's nice if I'm like sitting somewhere and I just need like a little extra juice. So I think it's fine.
I charge my phone like 4 or 5 times a day just to get through the day.
that
Do you know,
bad
sometimes
for it,
I
though?
go through 2 days without charging.
What?
And that's because you don't charge your phone, right?
So
My husband does the same.
as soon as it's fully charged, take it immediately off, and then I let it go to almost dead. And I swear I have my phones for like years and years.
Some people can't live life like that though.
Doesn't it freak you out? Do you use
Maybe it
your phone
helps.
as an alarm clock?
I
'Cause I do.
I have 2 alarms. I have like an old-fashioned one, and then I use my phone. I have 2 just in case.
Because I'm afraid if I don't plug in my phone, then it dies.
It probably also helps I have 2 phones. Do you have 2 phones?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
I leave one on the counter most of the time. Don't tell the people at work that because it's my company phone. Sorry. All right, coming up tomorrow on Today in AZ, how about an extra shot? We are live with monster trucks. Vroom, vroom. Thank
feel
you.
like we
I
need
was
a
waiting
sound
for a
effect.
monster truck noise. I didn't know when it was going to come in. It was either going to be the extra shot animation or the sound of a monster truck. I didn't know which was next. Seriously, though, we're checking out Monster Jam tomorrow on Today in AZ. If you've never done one of these before, try not to judge because it is actually pretty cool. I don't consider myself a monster truck kind of guy, but my little brother was, and I went to a bunch of these things with him when he was younger, and I get it. I get the appeal. Who doesn't want to watch giant machines at peak performance smashing other stuff and doing tricks? I mean, it kind of like appeals to like the little kid in you, you know? Mm-hmm. And you have to be pretty talented to pull off something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Have you ever sat in one of those?
No. Have you?
Yeah. The cage is insane. It is awesome. They have so many seatbelts. It is completely protected. And it kind of makes you freak out a little bit because you sit in this and you're like, they have me this protected because I could get smushed
Sure.
any minute.
Yes.
So yeah, it's awesome. And those drivers, they are superstars when you go out to this thing.
They are, and they tour the country. Like,
good.
they're big deals, these guys.
Yeah. It's a lot of
Guys and gals.
That's right.
Brian says, my main texting rule is never text angry. That's a good call.
Good.
Good job, Brian.
And never text while in a monster truck.
Right.
It'll really come out
That'd be
what
nice
you
piece
don't
of
want.
advice.
Yeah.
All right. Any last words, or are we just going to let this thing die? The show. Not any of us. We're all okay. Today in AZ
Kinda feel
After
like
Show,
that,
tomorrow at 7:30.
We dropping the mic?
Yeah,
drop
well,
the-
we got to keep the mics on. We got another cut in to do
Drop
at
the
7:56.
prompter wand.
There you
Well, I
go.
can't
I
break
love
it.
it. We'll see you people around. Be good.
Yeah, we're good.